Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. I'm your host, Martel Llewellyn. Guys, we're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Today, we are with Amir from Team to Beat Miami Heat. He is close to 2,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys go to his channel, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys comment on his video and show him some support. So, Amir, today we are going to be talking about everything Miami Heat with the Jimmy Butler trades. Bill Simmons today, he was coming up with all these different trade rumors with, Michael Porter Jr., with Jimmy Butler going to the Rockets. He fits so well over there. All types of crazy trades are going on. And then also to the Miami Heat, they are linked to Vucevic from the Bulls, Lonzo Ball. The trade deadline is approaching. So what do you think about all the trade rumors? Shams has been doubling down on TV when usually they're always slandering the Miami Heat. So the fact that they're out here saying, no, these trades are real, they're vetted. It's one of the most vetted trade rumors of my career. What do you think about with everything going on?
I hate all this trade shit. I know there's a big segment of NBA fans and Miami Heat fans that love transactions and trade talk and stuff. Like, I like it when it's like whales, right? And I don't like it specifically because we've missed out on so many folks over the last 4 or 5 years. But all this shit is noise. There's always people that are going to be available. But like, hey, I'm a content creator, so of course I'm going to make videos on this shit. But I don't like it. I know the audience likes it. So, it's just noise. The Jimmy Butler stuff is just all noise, but like there's some truth to it. Like, we didn't offer him an extension in the offseason because he's missed 20 plus games every year that he's been with the Miami Heat. And Pat Riley was kind of tired of that and wanted him to be, hey, like, be healthy, don't load managing games, and be available. Like, I know he got hurt in a freak accident, last year in the play-in with Kelly Oubre injuring Jimmy Butler at halftime, right before halftime, and he was killing it. Like, he was actually like, you're seeing the formula, which I don't love, of Jimmy saving himself in the regular season and going balls to the wall in a playoff setting. But we all know that there was going to be noise eventually before the trade deadline because he didn't get his extension. And Jimmy said, hey, I'm going to be a free agent. That's fine. I don't care. Like, you trade me anywhere, I'm not going to sign that extension. Like, I'm going to be a rental, right? He was basically saying, I'm betting on myself, which I don't know, like, what's going to happen. But yeah, it's just funny that Shams is just doubling down. He just wants clicks. ESPN used to be like the greatest sports media publication company. Now it's kind of a joke. So I think he's just doubling down. There's got to be some truth to it. Like, right? Like, Bernie Lee is an agent. Like, he's looking out for his player. He's trying to get leverage. He's playing a game. It's a game within a game. The business of basketball is also a game, but there's got to be some truth in terms of the teams that are interested or even the ones that Jimmy might prefer. But he hasn't requested the trade. The Miami Heat said, we want to trade him. Like, LaVine has been, the Bulls said, we want to trade LaVine. The Pelicans said, we want to get rid of Ingram, right? Like, those guys are known to be available. Jimmy, we don't even know if he's truly available. So we'll see what happens, but there's going to be a lot more noise in the coming months. Once we get to February 6th, it's just going to get louder and louder, I think.
Well, I wouldn't say that, they want to trade him or anything like that, but I know for sure, think about it. You're telling me that Brian Windhorst, Bill Simmons, Shams, and all of ESPN are just making everything up. That's the part that I find very hard. I mean, think about it. I'm not saying that the Miami Heat are out here definitely taking calls and shopping him and trying to get rid of him. I don't think so. But I think definitely behind closed doors, they're listening or they're probably reaching out to different teams. Or not, or even if they're not doing that, I would say that Bernie Lee, he's having conversations with people behind closed doors and it leaked. Maybe saying, hey, if Jimmy Butler wants to leave, would you guys be willing to make a deal? He wants to go to this team, but in backdoor, conversations. And unfortunately, sometimes things leak. And I think that's really what it is. I think they're kind of blowing it up out of proportion, but I think there is some validity to everything. Now, my second question for you, was the Terry Rozier trade a mistake? Only because we just lost to the Detroit Pistons, and including me, I thought Terry Rozier was going to be phenomenal for this Miami Heat team, only because we lacked scoring, we lacked rim pressure, and we just lacked a dynamic guard outside of Tyler Hero on this Miami Heat roster. He was starting. Now he's coming off the bench. And even still, he's looking kind of 50-50. One day he's good. One day he's bad. He's very up and down, and very streaky. What do you think about Terry Rozier right now? Do you want to trade him? I know there's the trade deadline that's approaching, and teams are going to want to make deals. Teams like the Wizards, they lowered their price on Kuzma. The Brooklyn Nets, they lowered their price. There's definitely a bunch of teams out there that are willing to make a deal. We could possibly trade Jaime, which he's had a down season. Jovic, to me, if you're not going to play him, trade him. So what do you think about Terry Rozier and some of the moves that we could possibly, make to just improve this roster? Because this could be the last Jimmy Butler run.
I mean, it is the last Jimmy Butler run, but I don't think it was a mistake per se last year. I mean, the mistake is now in hindsight, especially now that we gave up a first round pick. I mean, he was a shot chucker, a hard shot taker and maker, and capable kind of microwave type scorer, but like he was chucking up shots last year on the Hornets because LaMelo got hurt, so he was the only option. And then their rookie was in and out of the lineup also like last season. So of course he's gonna score 23 points per game on like a horrible team. Like you mentioned Kuzma, like when he was on Los Angeles as like the third option, right? Or the fourth option, like at times, like he was averaging, 12 to 15 points per game. He was a really good role player. And then he's on a crappy Wizards team for 3 years and he's averaged 20 points twice, right? Like a good player on a shitty team is going to get an opportunity. That's what Terry Rozier was. He was a good player on a crappy team. And now that he's on a good team, he doesn't have that same opportunity. And he's just been inconsistent. Like last year, he came in, was shooting horribly, but he figured it out after a few weeks and then he got really hot. Like he's going to be up and down, but like we're thinking if Terry can give us like 17 to 18, he's never going to give us 23 because obviously we had Jimmy Butler still, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero on the roster. We had the depth. We thought he would just be able to be that guy that can give us like 17, 18 a game, which he kind of did last year. He averaged 16 and a half in however many games he played, like 20, 30 games last season before he got hurt and missed the final 14 games. But like in hindsight, yes, at the time, I don't think it was bad. I don't think we were all upset because it took a while to acclimate. And again, he's an up and down, streaky kind of guy. He takes really hard shots, which is what is really frustrating is he can't take simple shots. He's on a really cold streak. Psychologically, like if you lose confidence in the NBA, like this is such a competitive sport and it's such a mind game and just everybody's gifted, talented, athletic, physically gifted. But it's like, who are the ones that are mentally strong? We see he's like not mentally strong because like if you lose your role, we saw that what happened. You mentioned Ben Simmons. That guy, something there, his mentals are off because he was an all-star type player. Like he is fallen. But I think he's bad right now. He doesn't fit our system. He's not doing what he was supposed to do. And I think we should trade him and get someone that fits our system better, someone that is more defensive minded, someone like look at a guy like Drew Smith who's inserted into our rotation off the bench, a guy who's an undrafted type of guy. Like imagine if we can get like an actual, no offense to Drew, we love Drew, but an actual like NBA talented, drafted kind of guy, rotational player in the league, veteran type of guy, like in his late 20s. Now, I don't want anybody too old. I don't want anybody too young. But if we can get like a Cam Johnson, I made a video on that today. He's 28. He's making roughly a few million under what Terry's making. I don't know why they would do this year. Next year, Terry, though, is going to be the trading chip if we can't get him now. Some people think we have to attach a first to trade him. We're not doing that. There's no way. We're going to keep him then. We keep him as our sixth man, seventh man. That's fine. We live with it. Next year, he's going to have one final year, 26 million. That's an expiring contract. If we were able to get Kyle Lowry's freaking ass off our team at age 37 on a $30 million deal, Terry's only 30, right? Some team could use him as their third, fourth option, and he could fit better, right? And he's only 30 for 26 million. I think it might happen next year, unfortunately, but I'm with you. I think we should trade him. I think, did you say you wanted to trade him too? I don't know if you said that.
I mean, listen, like it's a shame that it didn't work out, but sometimes you have to pivot, and I think that's the opportunity. If you're telling me that we can move on for a better rotational piece or even a younger player that can definitely help Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and the young group going into the future, you have to. Like I said, this could be the last year with Jimmy Butler on the roster. You have to go all in. You have to make all the moves. The Miami Heat over these past few years have not picked a direction. And real quick before we close, if you can add one realistic player to this roster, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, whatever it might be, one realistic guy, who are you adding to this roster by the trade deadline?
I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that could be realistic. I mean, a Kuzma could be realistic. Like they wanted X amount of first round picks last year. They didn't get it. Same with the Nets and Finney Smith. Like didn't they want like 2 first round picks for Finney Smith or something crazy, right? Like,
Ridiculous.
but you know what I mean? Like they said that's what they wanted. The market said no. He's not worth it. I'm sorry. He's not a Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges showed flashes of being a star. Finney Smith has never averaged 22, 23 points in a season ever, right? So like that, even Mikal Bridges got an outlandish amount, but still, 2 for him, no. I think he is going to be a player that's going to be available. The Cam Johnsons, the Kuzmas of the world, any of those guys are realistic. I don't know who I think I would want out of all those people. I mean, I'd probably rather have a Finney Smith or a Cam Johnson over a Kuzma type player, just because I don't think Kuzma's going to have that big of an impact as like our fourth guy behind Bam, Jimmy, and Tyler. So I think Cam Johnson's like that prototypical guy. He's 6'7". He's a good defender. He can hit the three. He's shooting 43%, career high. He's averaging almost 19 points a game because that team is just hurt and they're getting rid of everybody. Obviously, Schroeder just got traded. So I think if he's available, that's a realistic kind of guy. He's only making 21, 22 million. I mean, we can technically get rid of like a Duncan Robinson if they're willing to take him, or a Terry Rozier or whatever it may be. Shit, we might have to throw in a Jovic. Let's say it's Duncan and Jovic for that. Like, I might think about that honestly, because these moves could honestly, if we're really healthy and we're improving offensively like we have so far this year, maybe we can make a run. Like Jason Tatum can get hurt. Anthony Edwards can get hurt in the West. Like, injuries happen. You know what I mean? Like, that can impact the trip in the playoffs for any team. Like, an injury always happens. Giannis is always hurt. Embiid's always hurt. There's always an injury. You never know what's going to happen. And you can get hot at the right time. We just have to avoid the play-in. You can't be a play-in team. You have to be like a top 3 seed, which I always use that data point, which is not impossible if we make a good move like that, which is going to help us. So, yeah, I think Cam Johnson.
Yeah, guys, make sure that you guys head over to Amir's channel, Team to Beat Miami Heat. He's pushing to 2,000 subscribers. And I think that Cam Johnson, I think he's what we want Jaime Jaquez Jr. to be. I think that he'd be a great piece right now, and especially going into the future. He's young enough to hang around this team. But like I said, make sure you go to his channel, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for all the support. We are pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys.